All right, guys, we have a great video and show for you today. Sorry, let me get my camera ready. We're gonna talk about taste buds. Are they your taste buddies? How does tasty food? Why do you taste? What does it taste? Why do your taste buds work? And how does the bad foods that we have out there? Why does it taste so good? Why do we crave them? And what can we do to help break that craving? We'll talk about the paleo diet. Is it good for your health and for your gut? And we'll talk about the keto diet. Is it good for your gut and health? And any questions you guys may have live on today's Facebook and Poop Tip Tuesday. Guys, let's talk about poop. Hey guys, my name is Dr. Samir Islam. My passion is to give you tips and tricks to help out with your gut health. I grew up in a small town called Odessa, Texas. You may have known that from the movie Friday Night Lights or even the TV show. I did my undergrad at the University of Texas at Austin, go Longhorns, and I did my GI fellowship training at the Mayo Clinic. So guys, let's talk about poop. Alright, Dr. Islam here, aka your poop guru. Trying to give you the best tips and tricks every other Tuesday on this live stream to answer your questions you guys may have for me. If you can do me a huge favor, let me know if you're watching this live or on the replay, and also let me know where you're watching this at. I love to hear where my audience is watching their videos from. Hope you guys are having a great Tuesday. Happy early Thanksgiving. Yes, I'm going to drop a video on my Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube page very soon on tips I recommend to make sure you have a healthy Thanksgiving. So if you haven't already, don't forget to smash that like button, like, share, and subscribe so you can get notifications whenever I do a new video. Hope you guys are having a great week. In today's Poop Tip Tuesday, we're talking about taste buds, how they work, and how tasty foods can really trash up your health. We'll talk about my thoughts on the paleo diet. Is it good for your gut health? Is it good for your health in general? And we'll do the same thing about the keto diet as well. And I'll answer any questions you guys have live. Put them in the comments down below. I'll answer them as they come in. And I hope you guys are doing great as well. All right. So question number one, or topic number one, your taste buds. How do they work? And how does trashy food actually mess up and trash your health? We'll talk about this in detail right now. So question number one, how do taste buds work? Let me know in the comments. Have you ever wondered how your taste buds work? Why do they do what they do? And why are they attracted to certain types of foods? So you may be surprised to know, or you may not be surprised, that taste is such a multi-sensory thing that we have. It's not just your tongue. It involves your sight, your smell, and your tongue, and exactly how things taste as well. And so the main center of taste actually is in your tongue. You have what are called papilla, which are little things on your tongue to allow you to taste appropriately. And you have 4 different types of these papilla on your tongue, and depending on the type will allow you to taste what foods are going into your mouth, whether it's that yummy chocolate, whether it's that fruit that you're having as well. And the mix of those taste buds on your tongue will allow you to help change shapes going on in terms of what you taste, allow you to distinguish different types of tastes as well, and also allows you to have memories of those tastes as well. People can range from between 2,000 and 8,000 taste buds. There's a lot of taste buds going on inside your tongue. And not only that, whenever you taste, that taste and that whole process actually goes into your brain, and it goes into what's called your olfactory system, which is where your nose is and where you kind of help to sense smell that's going on as well. And it's a combination of what you're tasting in your mouth and the smell of the food that really allow your taste buds to work. Now, question number 2, can taste buds be fooled by flavors attached to unhealthy foods and unhealthy options? And the answer to this is definitely yes. Your taste buds can be fooled. In fact, it is a multi-billion-dollar business that causes you to want to have the foods that you should not eat. We are predisposed to have these foods be to allow us to crave these foods. And it starts off whenever we were in the caveman days. Back in the olden times, when we didn't have a lot of food, we had scarce resources. We had to hunt food to try and find what's going on. And because of that, we were predisposed to have foods that had a lot of calorie intense material in them, and also gave us a good high, and also just made us feel good as well. And these are foods like that are high in fat, sugar, foods that were rare at that time. And the current manufacturers of food have hijacked that ancestral drive to have these foods, to really make you want to crave these foods, and also force your taste buds to change in a way to allow you to hold on to those foods and want to have those foods more and more and more often, which would make it a lot more difficult for a lot of our patients to deal with, especially if they're having foods that are not good for them but taste really, really good. And science and the food industry have really hijacked this particular need to make you want to eat more than you should, especially the foods that you should not be eating. All right, so question number 3, how exactly does a healthy food addiction occur, and how can you detox from them? Well, basically, there's 2 main reasons why you have these unhealthy food addictions, why you crave those chips, why you crave that chocolate, why you crave that ice cream. Number 1 is the sensation of eating, the taste, the smell, the hearing of food. Have you ever noticed whenever you have that chip, oh, that crunchy sound? Oh, you love that. I love that. I love it when I have chips. The crunchier the chips, the tastier it is for me. And there's a real science behind that. That crunchiness that you hear, it triggers a sensation of eating to make you want to have more of that food, but also to have a positive reinforcement for what's going on. The sizzle that you hear from a steak, the fizzle from carbonated drinks, that sensation of eating will help bring in a kind of a pleasure center in your brain to make you want to crave that more and more. But not only that, the reason number 2 is the macronutrient content of what you're eating. So if you have, for example, a Baby Ruth, the combination of fat, sugar, not a lot of protein, but carbohydrates, that right combination also hijacks what's going on for your taste buds. And the food industry knows this, absolutely knows this, and it tries to tailor the foods to make it have a particular smell, a particular taste, a particular combination of these macronutrients, and a particular hearing whenever you do eat those foods, that crunch that you feel, that sizzle that you taste, that sizzle that you smell and that you hear as well. This allows you to have it more difficult for you to break free from that food addiction. So what can you do today if you want to break free from that food addiction? If you want to start to having a healthier life, if you want to maybe start the new year right, to allow you to have a healthier life, what can you do? Well, number 1, what I recommend is, if you don't buy that food, guess what? You can't eat it. So make a commitment today to not buy that ice cream, to not buy that candy, to not buy those chips. If you don't have it in your house, there's no way you can get it. And one of the easiest things you can do is simply not to buy those particular foods that are out there, because if you don't have it, you're not going to be able to eat it. Number 2, one of the tips I learned reading is, if you go into the outer ring of the grocery store, that's typically where the freshest food is at, whether it's fruits, vegetables, things that are growing from the ground. It's the middle of the grocery store that has all the fat-containing foods, all the processed foods, all the boxed foods, all the foods that are very, very tasty but are not good for you. So maintain the outside ring of your grocery store as a main place for you to do to most of your groceries. Number 3, I recommend the 5-ingredient rule. If you look at something and there's more than 5 ingredients in there, don't eat it, because there's a very good chance those ingredients are not going to be good for you. They may be addictive, and they also may lead to worsening issues down the road as well. Number 4, eat a variety of foods. Your brain craves variety. It does not want to necessarily eat the same thing every single day. Have a diverse array of foods. Have different plants. Experiment. Try different types of food. Try ethnic foods. But have this diversity of foods that you can start to implement to improve your taste buds and also have a healthier gut microbiome as well. Then lastly, I would recommend find a better way to deal with stress than eating. A lot of people, including myself, sometimes reflect with stress by eating really bad food because it makes you feel good and it tastes very good as well. Don't do that. Find another way to deal with stress, whether it's walking, working out, prayer, meditation, talking to people, journaling. Find a different outlet for stress than eating. Or if you want to make eating a way for you to deal with stress, at least have healthy foods. That's going to be a better way for you to manage that. But these are my 5 tips I recommend to break those unhealthy eating habits, detox yourself, and to allow you to get back to a healthier life that you guys want to live. All right, guys, if you're joining for the first time, my name is Dr. Islam, and yes, I am a poop doctor. My passion is to give you tips and tricks. Every other Tuesday, I go live on the social media streams to answer your questions you guys may have. If you haven't already, let me know in the comments where you're watching this from. And if you're watching this live or on the replay, Taz, is good seeing you. Dana's good seeing you. Carol's good seeing you as well. Madison, thank you for watching. And Jesse, thank you for watching as well. And thank you guys for watching on the live stream. And if you haven't already, don't forget to smash that like button and share down below. Also, let me know if you have any questions you want me to answer live. All right, next topic, paleo. Oh, yes, I love doing these diet topics because I know a lot of you may be wondering, is the paleo diet right for me? Is it good for my gut? You're going to learn right now. So question number 1, what is the paleo diet and why is it so popular? Let me know in the comments down below. Have you heard of the paleo diet? And let me know why you think, why it may be such a popular diet. So the essence of the paleo diet is that you want to eat like a caveman. Back in the day, what we were just talking about, you want to eat like a caveman, mainly having a lot of nuts, a lot of meat, a lot of fish. And what the idea behind the paleo diet is that there's a mismatch between what we're having in the modern diet and what our ancestors were eating before. And the main impetus for this was farming. Whenever we started to farm and domesticate, we create a lot of grains and legumes. And what the theory behind the diet is that this led to a rise of a lot of gut conditions and conditions outside the GI tract. And by going back down to the basics, you're stripping away all of the things that are not needed and getting down to the root of food of what is going on. And this is very popular, especially a couple years ago, because it got big in the CrossFit community. A lot of athletes and celebrities endorse this diet. A lot of people thought this is kind of the new diet to allow people to have, I guess, a healthier kind of gut microbiome. So what are the pros and cons? Yeah. So what are the pros and cons? I cannot speak today. So what are the pros and the cons of the paleo diet? Let me know in the comments down below if you've tried the paleo diet and if you found any benefit or you did not find any benefit. So some of the pros, number 1, is that you are eliminating a lot of the bad carbohydrates. And I can tell you that by doing that, you're going to feel better. When you eliminate bad foods, guess what? You're going to feel better. And when you eliminate bad foods, guess what's also going to happen? You're going to lose weight. And so there's evidence of people losing weight on the paleo diet, mainly because they are getting rid of a lot of the bad carbohydrates that are there, the ones that are full of sugar, full of carbs, and that are not good for you. Number 3, in terms of pros, is that it does help to advocate more of a nutrient-dense diet. If you have a lot of nuts, if you have a lot of fish, some meat, actually a lot of meat on this diet, you're going to actually have a kind of a more well-balanced, nutritious type of foods. So what are the cons? Well, number 1, you're eliminating one whole food group. I have never found it to be effective for anyone to just completely eliminate one whole food group, mainly carbohydrates and grains. I've never found this to be effective at all. And I don't like diets that tell you cannot eat a certain food group or that really restrict you in terms of what you're eating, because it's very hard to maintain this long term. Number 2 is that we don't have any good evidence. In fact, we have 0 evidence that this is going to help out with your gut. In fact, we are seeing more and more evidence where a paleo-like diet is actually bad for the gut microbiome. And I'll go into this in just a little bit. Number 3, you are increasing the amount of meat. And we know from studies that that can lead to long-term consequences in terms of more weight gain long-term, in terms of worsening inflammatory conditions, higher risk of developing cancer, high risk of changing your gut bacteria to make it more inflammatory in nature, and a higher risk of leading to a leaky gut inside your GI tract. Number 4, because you're eliminating grains, you're eliminating a lot of the good fibers that you need in your diet. Fiber is the backbone for what is going on inside your GI tract. And we know that based on all of the evidence, the best diet that you can do is to have a wide, diverse array of plants and vegetables in your diet to improve your gut microbiome. And by minimizing a lot of the grains, you're also going to minimize a lot of the fiber that's there. And that's going to lay a bad foundation for future gut problems in the future. And then lastly, it's hard to do. A paleo diet actually is just hard to do. And this is one of the reasons why the weight loss that you get with a paleo diet typically is not maintained long term. It is such a difficult diet to try and do long term. And, it's hard to go out. It's hard to do things socially. You can't do things like you normally would want to do. You can't enjoy yourself. And more commonly, a lot of my patients who go through this diet just cannot maintain this diet itself. So these are my thoughts. I would not recommend the paleo diet for my patients who are hoping to lose weight and for patients who are hoping to improve their gut microbiome. So question number 3, how does the paleo diet affect your gut health? And I can tell you, because you're minimizing the amount of fiber, it is not good for your gut health. I am not a fan. We have seen, if you look at stool samples of patients who are on the paleo diet, they have more inflammatory bacteria, less good bacteria, and that could predispose you to have conditions later on, or used to even make conditions you have even worse, including leaky gut, including IBS, bloating, dissension, and sometimes some extra GI issues as well. So I am not a fan of the paleo diet, nor do I feel like this is the best diet for your gut microbiome as well. These are my thoughts, but I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. So let's go through some questions here. So Madison, good question. What is the best thing to take or do when having a bad IBS flare-up? It's a very good question because sometimes you need some rescue treatments to help out when it comes to IBS. So I will tell you, it depends on the type of IBS that you have. If it's mainly diarrhea, sometimes taking an Imodium or an anti-diarrhea medication will help out. If it's mainly constipation, sometimes taking some magnesium under the supervision of a doctor, maybe some laxatives, or even some over-the-counter treatments can help out. If it's pain, one of the more effective things I recommend is peppermint. Peppermint is fantastic. It works great. There are a lot of peppermint formulations. I would recommend a formulation that's specifically released in the GI tract. I recommend this calmly for my patients, and this will help out with a flare as well. Sometimes having some peppermint tea, ginger tea works really well that I recommend for a lot of my patients. These are some small little tips that I recommend. Sometimes I have some patients have some peppermint candy, which also it's not as effective as being released inside the GI tract, but it can cause some benefit for a lot of my patients that are having a flare as well. It's a great question. All right. Perfect. All right. Sounds good. All right. So topic number next, the keto diet. All right. The keto diet, is it good for you and is it good for your health? Let me know in the comments down below if you tried the keto diet and what your thoughts were on it. Do you feel like it helped out whenever you were taking it for whatever condition it is? So the keto diet, basically, what is the keto diet and why is it popular? So the keto diet is it's a derivative of the Atkins diet, which is a low carb diet. In essence, you are extremely minimizing the amount of carbohydrates inside your diet, and you're substantially increasing the amount of fat in your diet. So in essence, you have very minimal carbs, and your main source of fuel ends up being a lot of fat. And by having a lot of fat and by having very minimal carbs, you actually burn more fat to produce energy to go into what's called ketogenesis as well. And that ketogenesis is thought to help trigger a lot more fat loss, lead to supposedly clearer mind, better gut health, make you lose weight, and make you feel better overall. And this actually is becoming more popular after paleo kind of went away. Keto came up because a lot of people, including physicians, thought that the keto diet helped out with weight loss, made people feel better, and you had a lot of celebrities and influencers really push the keto diet as an effective diet for weight loss, but also overall to make people feel better. So question number 2, What are the pros and cons of the keto diet? I'd love to hear your comments down below if you've tried the keto diet to see if it's something that you felt helped out as well. So what are the pros? Well, number one, there are a lot of people that love it. You can see all sorts of blogs and posts and people and influencers who rave about the keto diet, how it changed their life, made them feel better, it made them lose weight, gave them clearer mind, clearer skin. It just changed everything. There's a lot of people who really, really like that diet. Number two is that we do know it works for some medical conditions. There's evidence it does work for epilepsy patients. In fact, this is one of the reasons why the keto diet was formed, was that there was some evidence to suggest that those individuals that have epilepsy may benefit from being in a ketogenic state. Number three, like the paleo diet, by getting rid of carbs, you're eliminating the bad guys, the bad carbs. So that nice little donut that you're trying to eat, that you eat every morning, well, guess what? That is not keto friendly. And by eliminating that, you're going to get rid of some of those bad carbohydrates as well. And number four, by eliminating a lot of carbohydrates, including the good guys and the bad guys, you're able to stabilize your insulin production. And we know that insulin helps produce fat and store fat as well. So these are the pros. What are the cons of a keto diet? Well, number one, you're having a lot of fat. And I can tell you, we have no idea what the long-term consequences of that fat is. No matter what anyone tells you, we don't know if eating that much fat is going to be good for you. Is it going to lead to long-term problems? Is it going to lead to heart conditions? Is it going to lead to any other issues? We just don't have the answer for that. Number two, once again, by restricting pretty much all carbohydrates, you're eliminating one whole food group. I don't recommend that at all because I find that to be very difficult to do. And I find that whenever you start to eliminate foods, you can just go down a cycle of eliminating more and more foods. It makes it more hard to get back from that. Number three, by eliminating carbs, you're also automatically eliminating a lot of the fiber that's good for you. You need fiber. It is the backbone for your gut health. And by minimizing those carbohydrates, you're also minimizing that fiber as well. That's not going to be good for you. That's going to mess up the foundation for your gut health. Next, it is hard to do the keto diet in real life. Now, there are more and more restaurants that are catering to the keto diet, but in actuality, it is hard to go to a hamburger place and say, hey, I'll have a hamburger, but hold everything except for the meat. I mean, come on, guys. It's kind of hard to do that right now. Next number, keto constipation. Yes. Guess what happens when you get on keto? You will be stopped up. Why are you stopped up? Because you're eliminating carbohydrates, mainly the fiber, and that fiber is the backbone for you. Then lastly, we have zero evidence this actually may be healthy for you. We don't have any good evidence, at least in the literature, that this is a healthy diet. There's a lot of social media evidence that it's good for you, but we don't have a lot of good clinical evidence that it is good for you as well. So question number three, how does the keto diet affect your gut? Well, I'm sure you probably already know my opinion, but we know that there are no good studies to suggest that it supports gut health. We have zero studies, zero. In fact, what we do know is that we do have studies in a very famous journal that individuals who had a diet that was high in animal fat, animal meats, and eggs for just 5 days experienced a significant change in their gut microbiome. They had a lot more bad guys than good guys. And what this did, which is very similar to a ketogenic diet, is that it will predispose you to have conditions like IBS, gastritis, leaky gut. So even though you may not have that, you're basically laying the foundation for that as well. And my biggest thing is that carbohydrates in general are not bad. There's no evidence for that. What is bad is refined sugar, processed grains, ultra-processed foods, which are part of the carbohydrates. But to eliminate carbohydrates in general, no way. That is not good for you, nor do I think this is a good diet for long-term gut health. So I do not recommend the keto diet, but I'm curious to hear what you guys think as well. All right. So let's go through some of the questions. So John asks, is mucus in the stool normal? Well, I will tell you, mucus in the stool Can be normal for some individuals. If you have a condition like IBS, it can be part of that. But sometimes mucus in the stool may be a sign of something else going on as well. So I would encourage you to get this investigated by maybe having you see a doctor as well. So Zach, is FD Guard safe? So FD Guard is a medication that's an herbal medication that is used to treat for, stomach pain in the upper GI tract called functional dyspepsia. And by and large, it is safe. It is an herbal medication and it has been studied. And I typically recommend FD Guard for a lot of my patients that have a lot of upper GI symptoms. So yes, I do. It is pretty safe to use. All right. Perfect. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you guys for watching today. If you haven't already, don't forget to smash that like button, like, share, and subscribe so you can get a notification whenever I'm doing another live video, and you get notifications for my videos as well. I have a video coming up pretty soon for Thanksgiving to hopefully allow you to have a healthier Thanksgiving. All right, guys, perfect. All right. I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys are doing well. I look forward to seeing you guys in about 2 weeks. Have a happy and safe Thanksgiving, guys. Take care. Bye, everybody.